There are so many colors in the rainbow, so many colors in the morning sun, so many colors in the flower, and I see.
The information processing approach is a cognitive approach in which children manipulate information, monitor it, and strategize about it. Central to this approach are the cognitive processes of memory and thinking. 3 important aspects of cognition are attention, memory, and expertise. As children grow and mature and experience the world, their information processing abilities increase, as well as their mind's capacity and speed of processing. Encoding, automaticity, and strategy construction is the process children go through to take in, store, and retrieve information in their working memory. My goal is to help Mia acquire the body of knowledge he needs to understand the meaning of 4 colors: red, yellow, blue, and green. I'm using 4 teaching strategies, 1 for each color. I will model, teach, and correct misconceptions. I will guide Mia towards a more complete understanding. I will demonstrate how differences in teaching strategies affected the way Mia learned. The 4 strategies I am going to use are method of imagery, loci, elaboration with objects, and rhyming with songs. These strategies support the information processing approach and help with encoding, storage, and retrieval of information. All these strategies support the idea that children's minds are an active information processing system, but each strategy emphasizes different strengths learners may have, and each approaches learning with a different method. Meet Mia. Mia is my enthusiastic, energetic, and adorable 19-month-old daughter. She is very active and curious about the world around her. She enjoys running everywhere, reading books, singing songs, and playing outside. She is also very verbal for her age and does well responding to me. Mia responds well to enthusiasm and positive reinforcement. Her prior knowledge of colors consists of seeing the colors throughout her everyday experiences, as well as talking and reading about colors with others. From the exposure she has had so far, she knows the names of colors. She can say blue, red, yellow, green, and associates the names of colors when she hears the word color, but she doesn't know which color is which yet.
Green one, yellow one, pink and blue. One for me, one for you. Flying high above me and you. Oh, I love my balloon.
I introduced the topic of colors to Mia with an interesting feature. I used balloons to grab her attention, but also because it was an object she is familiar with, so that the focus was not on learning about the new object, but it was about learning the color of the objects. I introduced each balloon to Mia and told her the color of the balloon. I continued to repeat the colors and asked her to repeat the names back to me. Mia was very excited to play with the balloons. She kept saying, "Boon," and she had so much fun. She repeated the names of the balloons most of the times that I asked her. She said yellow more than any other color. There were a couple encoding strategies being used during this activity. Mia started encoding the colors into her memory by using repetition and rehearsal. The balloons gained her interest, and she started processing the information into her stored memory. The information she was taking in was being stored in her sensory memory. She was holding the information from the world in its original form for an instant.
Boom, boom. Red, blue, yellow, green.
We all live in a yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yellow submarine.
I taught Mia about the color yellow by using elaboration, by showing her a variety of yellow objects. By showing her actual objects that she can manipulate, she is able to form connections between the color yellow and things in her world that are that color. I showed Mia different objects that were yellow. I would hand her the object and tell her the color was yellow. She took the object, usually told me the name of the object, and then I would repeat the color. She had time to play and manipulate the objects while we repeated the color. Mia was very engaged and did a great job of repeating yellow. I rewarded her with stickers and positive reinforcement. The more we practiced the color yellow, the more Mia repeated yellow correctly. Mia was able to tell me the color yellow after a short period of time as well. So she was starting to store the information in her short-term memory. What is that, Mia?
Duck,
What color is the duck?
yellow.
Good job! To teach the color red, I used the method of loci, which is to use the familiar to help you remember new information. I pointed out different red objects that are part of Mia's everyday life. We looked around the apartment, went on walks outside, took a trip to the library, and explored objects at the zoo. I pointed out all the red objects that we saw. I repeated the color a few times and then had Mia repeat it. This strategy didn't seem as effective because Mia wasn't as engaged. She was easily distracted by all the stimuli around her, and she wasn't as interested in the red objects. She didn't always respond when I asked her about the object and its color, and she sometimes responded with yellow. Attention plays a big role in processing information, and I had a hard time getting Mia focused with this strategy. Since the attention wasn't there, Mia could only use her sensory memory with the color red. I think this strategy can be very effective with the appropriate learner. It's a great memory technique for increasing memory capacity. Since children's information capabilities increase with growth and maturity, I think it's her limited capacity that makes this strategy difficult for her at this time. With that said, we still enjoyed our time outside, exploring new red things, and playing and experiencing the world around us. What color is the ladybug?
Red.
Ironically, soccer practice this week incorporated colors into the drills for the day. It was such a great opportunity to connect what we were learning to our weekly soccer practice. At soccer, the kids have an obstacle course to go through, and it includes a tunnel with different colors. Mia kept pointing to the color yellow and repeating, "Yellow?" It was great to see her transfer what we had learned to different objects. She demonstrated that the color yellow was in her working memory. She was still in the encoding phase, not automaticity yet, for she still had to put in effort to retrieve the information.
Bomb 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 dang 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 ding dong ding blue moon 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 blue moon dip 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 moon 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 blue moon.
To teach blue, I used the method of imagery. I used books about the color blue and pictures of blue objects on the internet. Mia was very engaged. She absolutely loves reading books. I pointed to the pictures, talked about the pictures with Mia, and then named the color and repeated it many times. She was very responsive to this strategy. She kept repeating blue and pointing at different objects. We also looked at pictures on the internet. Mia was very engaged in this as well. She pointed to pictures she wanted to see, and I enlarged them on the screen. When she saw a picture of a blue moon, she kept repeating, "Blue moon," and kept saying, "Again." The strategy definitely held her attention, and she was using her short-term memory with this strategy. She was also working towards automaticity. It was great to see that reading books and looking at pictures on the internet was a strategy that worked very well for Mia.
Blue. Moon.
The green eyes, yeah, the spotlight shines upon you.
To teach green, I used the method of rhyming in song. I sang rhyming songs to Mia and had pictures of the green objects that were mentioned in the song. I sang the songs, emphasizing the color green, and repeated the songs many times. I thought this method would work really well since Mia enjoys music and dancing, but she wasn't as engaged as I was expecting. She did sit on my lap and listen to the songs, but I wouldn't say her attention was grabbed. I think encoding would happen more over a longer period of time and with more movement and gestures incorporated into the songs as well. I think she was using her sensory memory, for she remembered the color green for an instant, but had trouble remembering it after that. I connected it to Michigan State since we sing the fight song, and every time I did that, she correctly answered green. But otherwise, with the new songs, she was having trouble encoding the information. What color is the frog?
Green.
I informally assessed Mia throughout my instruction of the different teaching strategies. I believe assessment drives instruction, so it's important to assess student understanding along the way to check their progress. I assessed her through observing, questioning, and evaluating her responses. When a correct answer was given, I praised her and rewarded her with stickers, high fives, and M&Ms. When she gave an incorrect answer, I corrected her misconception and revisited the color through practice and repetition. I formally assessed her after teaching all 4 strategies by checking for understanding through questioning and keeping track of the number of her correct answers. I questioned her 10 times on each color by asking her the color of objects and pictures. She correctly answered yellow 9 out of 10 times, blue 8 out of 10 times, green 6 out of 10 times, and red 5 out of 10 times. These results show that different teaching strategies directly affect student learning. I also think it demonstrates that the type of learner a student is can make a big difference in their achievement as well as their memory. It shows that students need to be taught using a variety of strategies so they have the opportunity to meet the goal presented to them. Mia responded and performed best by teaching strategies that used imagery as well as manipulation and elaboration. She was engaged, curious, and was able to take the knowledge into her working for her short-term memory.